pleasure. All right, here we go. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We are happy to see that you took your time to join us for a Rotary meeting. Our small club has expanded the world because of you, not because of us. And you have joined us repeatedly to make it very, very good. And these meetings are always very interesting. Our Secretary Randall has done a great job bringing in keynote speakers from around the world to speak to our group of Rotarians. So we are very happy about that. So welcome everybody. I'd like to go ahead and do my normal thing that I'm going to do with screen share here when we start our meetings. We're going to do the four-way test. I believe everyone can see my screen. Is that correct, Randall? Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, all right. I will read the four-way test one item at a time. And as I do, I'm going to ask everybody to now please turn on your microphone. Everybody, please unmute yourself and turn on your microphone. Everyone. I'll give you a moment to do that. Okay, thank you. As I read the four-way test, you will repeat it after I finish. The four-way test of things we think, say, and do. The first one is it the truth? Please repeat.
Is it the
truth?
Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned?
Is it
fair to all
concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendship?
Will it build goodwill
Friendship.
Better friendship.
And is it beneficial to all concerned?
Will it
Will it be
be
beneficial?
All
Concern.
And there's a fifth one that's not on there, and you can repeat after me. Will it be fun?
Will it be
It'll be fun.
Will it be fun? Yes, it
Very
will.
good. Thank you. Thank you all very, very much. Appreciate that. Our mission within Rotary, of course, is to provide service to others and promote integrity. The world right now needs people who are honest and have good integrity. And if they have that, they're going to help us to advance the world understanding of goodwill through peace around the world. And many of our speakers have been speaking about peace around the world. And both in the, both in business and professional, we need our Rotarians to be good leaders. That's our mission for Rotarians, to get out there and do a great job. Now tonight for our meeting, there's a few protocols that I need to go through quickly. First of all, we would like everybody to now turn off your microphone. I had you turn it on earlier. Please turn it off at this time. Leave it muted while the guest speaker and other people are speaking. If you would like to speak, you can turn your microphone on just to make a comment or raise your hand, but certainly leave it muted during the time of our speakers. Please leave your camera on because we want to see your smiling face. We don't necessarily just want to see your name thrown up on the screen. We'd like to see your face and see your reactions. Our speakers would like to see your reactions. For better viewing, in the upper right-hand corner when the speaker is speaking, if you click on the speaker's view, you will get a full panorama, the whole screen of just the speaker, and hear what they have to say. It's a better way to view them. Also, we would ask you to please not talk about sex and religion. We used to say don't talk about politics, but we have found in this club, we don't get really political, but we do occasionally make political comments, and that's all right. Just keep it relatively peaceful, not too violent of a political comment, please. And the reason we do that is because our meetings are recorded. All of our meetings are recorded. Randall will build that up, and in a few days it will be sent out across to all of our attendees and all of our members. So those are our protocols for this evening. Let me stop screen share, and I will go back to my main screen. And I need to give my opening address as president of the club this evening. For president's comments. It's been an interesting 2 weeks for me. I was living in St. Petersburg during the entire 16, 17 months of lockdown from February of 2020 until a week and a half ago. And then I got on a plane and I flew to Frankfurt and then Frankfurt to Denver, Colorado. Now, I can tell you, I did not know what to expect. And I thought there's going to be so many changes and so many extra things I have to do. And when I went through, it was easy. The people were polite. The people were helpful. People were understanding. People who I didn't even know, if something was not quite right, they just helped me politely, not with any rudeness, not with any harshness. I found out though, that when I was flying from Frankfurt to US, I went all the way back in the galley to get myself a cup of coffee. And when I got back there, they said, sorry, no coffee. We only have coffee when we serve it. Okay, I can do that. But they said, sir, we do have vanilla ice cream with chocolate covering that you can take back to your seat. Now you give me a choice between vanilla ice cream and coffee. I'm probably going to choose vanilla ice cream most of the time. So I did. People were helpful. And that's what I think we need to spread around the whole world as Rotarians and other people. During this time, when we're transitioning from everybody being locked down and a little bit scared to a time when we're starting to open up. Don't get me wrong. I don't think you should open up too quickly because I don't think the virus is gone yet, but situations are getting a little bit better in most places. And as we start to do that, let's be a little bit helpful. Think about the other person. Maybe they don't understand the situation. Maybe they just need a little bit of help to get through it. Let's help them. Let's be courteous to them. Because the people that I flew with, I flew on Lufthansa and United, and both of them were very, very helpful. And when they didn't have something, I didn't say, why don't you have it? No, I said, okay, what else do you have? What else could I get? And that's the attitude we need to take, because things have changed some. You're not going to be able to go everywhere you went and do everything you did before. And when people restrict you and say, we can't do that for you, ask them what they can do. They usually have some sort of alternative. Be understanding. Now, this not only applies to you as a Rotarian when you're traveling, but also as a leader. As a leader, you're going to be asking people to do things that are different now. For many of you, you know, in the last year, when factories went back to work, they told the workers 1 meter apart, stretch things out. How many of us have gone to the airport or other places, and now we see all these big plastic screens between us and the person with a little hole you hand something through? That's a big change. So as these changes occur, the leader needs to understand to explain them to the people as to what the changes are so that the people can accept them and work with them. If you do these things, you're going to find your job as a leader is a whole lot easier. So those are my opening comments. I traveled and it was pleasant. And we need to be very understanding of people as changes occur. So I hope you all remember those things and in the future can practice that with other people. Now time for our secretary's comments. Randall, I'm going to turn it over to you for secretary comments. You're muted, Randall.
Okay, thank you. I just have a couple of quick things to share. Let me share here. So first of all, on Saturday morning, we're having in Russia a district assembly, which is being hosted by DGE Margarita in Vladivostok. So it starts at 8:30 Moscow time, and it will be running for most of the day. Well, it's going to be running, I think, until 12 o'clock. And Michael, that's the same day we have a Toastmaster meeting, so I will attend the beginning part. And the second point, I just wanted to share this with you. I just noticed today in the Spravachnik, which is our district directory that was shared, that Nadezhda Pop is also going to be a special representative to Russia. I don't think she was this year. Nadezhda is on the screen today. I don't know if you had a chance to say hi to her, Michael.
Not yet.
She's our past district governor from 2220. And
I know her very well. Yeah.
And Manoj Desai, who is our incoming special representative, past RA director from India, he will be speaking to us in August. And so since we've got Michael today and Manoj in August, perhaps Nadezhda could come and speak to us in September or October.
Possible.
And that's it for today. Oh, one more slide. No, you're going to talk about who's coming to speak to us in the future, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, and I'm good. So back to you, Michael.
You're good. Of course you're good. You're a member of the Rotary Club of St. Petersburg International, Randall. That automatically makes you good. So you don't need to tell people you're good. Everybody already knows that. You know, it comes with the territory. Just as all of our Rotarian friends on screen here are above and beyond everybody else. So we're going to invite Michael here in just a moment, and Michael will give you about 30 minutes to talk to us, and then maybe about 10 minutes to answer any questions, and then that'll give you the opportunity to go watch Sweden play in that 0-0 game before the hour. So you'll have enough time. So I just need to do a quick introduction for you. If you don't mind, let me see if I can find my right slide here. I have so many. Nope, not there. There we go. There we go. All right. You know, Michael, I wrote some things on the screen, and I'm not sure
Michael,
that.
Michael,
yes.
you're screen sharing your email now, so we see a whole bunch of funny
No,
messages
no.
from me.
No, you don't want to see.
Don't
Why do you
share
want to
those
see my
things.
emails? Why are you looking at my emails? That's not a good thing to do. You shouldn't do that. Let me get to where we should be, Randall. Thank you for correcting me. I do make mistakes once in a while. All right. So today we're going to have Mikael Ahlberg going to talk to us. And I asked him about his name pronunciation earlier, and he told me that many people pronounce it different ways. So we're going to go with what I said. Today, Rotary and Russia. Now, Michael is an interesting person, and we're going to find out a little bit about him. This fellow has been in Rotary since 1993. His wife, Charlotte, and him have 2 children and grandchildren. They've been very, very active in Rotary for a long time. There are multiple levels of Paul Harris and donation levels, and they have been very, very active. And this is what we mean by active, not just paying dues, but going out there and doing something. He got involved with the financial group inside of Rotary International and has been contributing to that group for a long time and doing very, very well. And now he's going to be helping us in Russia. And because he's going to help us in Russia, we have invited him to come here and speak today and talk about Rotary and Russia. So without any further ado, I'm going to go back to the main screen, and I'm going to turn it over to Michael and let him go forward. Michael, about 30 minutes, if you will, please, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Well, thank you. I will also see if I can share my screen. It should work. Yes,
Yes.
it did. Magic. And maybe not 30 minutes, I don't know. I will speak, well, as long as I have anything important to say. But then maybe questions might be as important, because then I will talk to whatever questions you have, and that might be maybe the priority in meetings like this. But I will start with a short background, and I will include a short update. Should there be any hard questions, I will send them to the district governor and he can answer them. So I think I'm safe today. And I'm happy to see a lot of friends in this meeting. Actually, a couple of years ago, before the pandemic, I was invited by Carmen to visit Houston in a meeting and to talk about the embryo of the pilot at that time. And I met also Stan at that meeting. It's good to see you in the meeting here. And of course, you already, let's see if we can get the next slide. You already saw my resume or heard it, but if we focus on the Rotary coordinator time, I was happy to have Gail Nepper as one of my colleagues. So a lot of the people whom I know are on this call tonight, and also, of course, Natalia, who previously worked at Zurich office and have supported us very well over time. It's good to see you all. As you see, well, I've been a member since '93, and I had a few different positions, and this is not all of them, but they will be the way that took me to the board of directors and being the treasurer of the board. And after that, I am now the chairman of the Rotary International Finance Committee, but my top assignment is, of course, being one of the presidential co-advisors to Russia. And that would be me and Dr. Manoj Desai from 1st of June, meaning that Dean Ross stepped down on the last day of May and is now replaced by Dr. Manoj. And Nadia Nadezhda, past district governor, who is my very dear friend and, well, colleague for many years, is not the presidential co-advisor, but our liaison to Russia. So she is very important in our work with Rotary in Russia. I will not stay long with this image, but it illustrates that, as the president already said, we don't like people only to contribute money. We also like people to contribute by hands-on work in different positions. Somebody asked me earlier, where are you tonight? And tonight I'm in my home office. I'm in the island of Öland. I don't know if you see the yellow part. That is my district, one of 10 Swedish districts that also include the country of Latvia. So we are on both sides of the Baltic Sea. And you see a small yellow stripe, maybe one of the islands, Swedish islands. The yellow one is mine. Well, not mine personally, but I'm in that island. And that is a tourist recreational area. It's also the home of the Vikings. So when the Vikings took off to found Russia, they came from my island, most likely, and then they went down the rivers and started it all up. In a normal year, we are 25,000 inhabitants in that island. In summertime, we are 300,000 inhabitants, because when all the summer residents invades us, including the Swedish royal family, they also come to us. And a good normal summer day, we will have 1 million visitors. So we are busy in summertime, and it's a little bit different in wintertime, so you can say. Normally, I'm not that much at home, but for the last 15 months, I've been home more than ever. And I think all of us are looking forward to going back to something maybe not normal, but maybe even better, and making it possible for us to travel again. I would love to go back to St. Petersburg and, of course, into Russia. Our assignment will be much easier once we can travel again. So enough about me. Let's go into Rotary and Russia and a little bit of the background. Maybe you know it all, but just to have a common platform of understanding of the history of Rotary in Russia. It all started actually with Swedish connections, and at that time the USSR ambassador to Sweden, Boris Pankin, reached out to Swedish Rotarians, and they started up the work. That led to a visit by past President Rolf Clarish from Finland, and at that time the RI President Joe Archer going to Moscow. And luckily, they came up with a charter of Moscow Rotary Club in 1990. And then it went fairly quickly. Irkutsk came quickly, then Magadan came, and so on. You know it. And from the beginning, the support to the Russian area came from Finland, most likely because Rolf Clarish was from Finland, and he took this under his wings, and I know that he was very dedicated to the cooperation, the Rotary Russia cooperation, as long as he was around. In 1993, there was a split, meaning that part of Russia, the eastern part, was added to 50-10. That would be on the other side of another water that is surrounding Russia, and not least the Alaskan area. And you know also that in 2012, District 2225 was funded, and unfortunately, it didn't last very long and ended up as an undistricted area 57 after a couple of years. The western part was under the support of Sweden and Finland from 1993. And interestingly enough, when in 2006, District 2220 was funded, it was when Carl Wilhelm Stenhammar, my Swedish friend, was the Rotary International president. So, as a Swede, I can feel that we have been partly instrumental in the formation of Rotary in Russia, and I'm proud to be able to continue that work. When I was on the board of directors, and at the same time also Dean Ross served on the board of directors, I was the treasurer and she was the vice president. when Russia came up on the board's agenda. And there was a lot of debate, a lot of discussion, whether after all these years, and a Rotary in Russia that in total added 77 clubs and 1,118 members, whether that was anything that Rotary should continue to support. And there were voices that argued that no, this is the time for us to shut it down and to leave Russia. Dean and I, who both had worked with Russia, me mostly in the western part and Dean mostly in the eastern part, we had a different opinion. And well, we spoke about our opinion, and finally the board said, well, okay, if you believe so firmly in this, absolutely, we will grant you this, but we will also ask you to take on the roles as presidential co-advisors to Russia. We will hold you responsible to the development. And well, we were happy to get that assignment, and also happy to see that Russia was granted a pilot district status, actually the only pilot district we have in the world. And you know, a pilot in Rotary is normally a 3-year thing. When we test something, that is normally a 3-year pilot. But this pilot district was given 6 years to develop. And I think we're very happy about that, not least because we got the pandemic situation to cope with, and that would have been hard maybe in a 3-year time frame. The challenges that were debated was, of course, mostly the membership, because all these years had ended up with, as I said, 1,118 members. And you know, the bottom line for a district to exist is 1,100 members. So that was mainly the arguments from the board, including that, of course, over time, Rotary had invested a lot of money in Russia. And from a board perspective, the return on investment was not really what the board expected. So we got this granted in April 2018, and it was Dean and I who got those co-advisor positions. And now from, as I said, the last day of May, Dean ended her period as she now serves as a trustee of the Rotary Foundation. And she was succeeded by past director, Dr. Manoj Desai from India. Dr. Manoj was on the board together with Dean and me our first year. That was his second year, so we served 1 year on the board together. And Dr. Manoj, coming from India with his Indian experiences about a flourishing and rapidly growing Rotary in India, will have a lot to bring to the table when we talk about how to expand Rotary in Russia. Dr. Manoj has also served on the Rotary International Strategic Planning Committee, so he will also have that knowledge to bring with him into the work. And as I said, our liaison is past Governor Nadia, as I would say, PAP, whom I've been working with for many years. When I was Rotary coordinator, Nadia was one of my assistants, and we know ourselves very well. And Nadia, of course, is special due to the fact that she originates from Magadan, and she now is in Moscow. She's married from Camille, who comes from the south, so she has a lot of different connections all over Russia, and she's, as I understand it, highly respected all over Russia. So we are very happy to have Nadia on our team, not least because none of us, Dean, Dr. Manoj or I, speak Russian ourselves. We understand more and more because you pick it up when you visit, but to speak it, that's hard. And to get the clear understanding, we are happy to have Nadia to guide us. The pilot district priorities are, well, of course, membership, but government relations are also important because we understand that many things, that if there should be a big shift in government relations, there should be a totally different game. And that might be. But we also know that it's different in different parts of Russia. I've been visiting parts of Russia where we have been invited to the town hall to meet the mayor, and I've been visiting parts in Russia where that has not been actual at all. So it's different. But actually, Dean and I, we went as participants to the Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok, well, 2 years ago when you still could travel. And well, we just went as general attendees and took part of the sessions and the, well, discussions that you can have with people in the exhibit areas and all these things. And we were very well received. And the interest for Rotary was much, much higher than we expected. And also the awareness of Rotary was much higher than we expected. So we felt that, well, we have nothing to fear really for getting out in these environments. And we also made a few very interesting contacts. And that is maybe the problem with this pandemic, because the pandemic came, we couldn't really follow up on those. And it has also led to some of those individuals that we had contact with, they are not in those positions anymore due to the pandemic. So we are a little bit back to square one when we will be able to visit a similar event again. But we need to work on the government relations, and we need to do that, of course, very much also locally. And when I say we can do something, Dr. Manoj and I, but of course the Russians themselves are the ones that really needs to do the work locally, because we cannot do it for them. It has to be done by Russians and local. Membership is, of course, one of the things that Rotary International Board of Directors monitor very closely, and they would like to see something happening soon. After the pandemic, we cannot blame that anymore, and we need to see a big increase in members if this pilot is going to last for the 6 years that is planned. Foundation, both the giving and the use of funds. We hope to see more grants made in Russia, and of course with Russian participation elsewhere. The foundation, as you know, is the engine of Rotary, and it's also very, very good tool to tell the world what we are doing and actually do it hands-on in our local communities. So that is one of the priorities. Of course, also public image, to tell the world what we are doing. If we don't tell it, who will tell it? So we need to work very much on that. And not least, sustainability. Sustainability for Rotary International is that they like the governors, the governor chain, the officers of Rotary International in Russia, and also including the new organizational system. I will be back to that we have in Russia, to work together during the year and together over the years. They don't like to see brilliant governors beating each other up in between the years. They like to see cooperation, because if we are going to establish something big for the future, we need to work together and be sustainable. It takes time to make a real impact, but it takes a lot of efforts and a lot of cooperation to reach it. And of course, Russia, when Rotary International looks on Russia, they see a big potential. It's a vast area. As someone said earlier, you can squeeze in many other countries in Russia, and it's almost hard to understand how big it is. As I said, when I flew from Petropavlovsk-Kamchatka to Moscow, that was a 9-hour domestic flight. So it is really distances that we need to cover in this one district. And of course, you can think that this is too big a district, and of course it is. And of course, we hope that in the future there will be more than one district in Russia. That is, of course, what Rotary International Board of Directors expect to see, a growth that will enable more districts to be formed within Russia. In any other area at the same size in the world where Rotary is operating, there should be a few more districts if you would get the same level of Rotarians in Russia like in other parts of the world. And the potential is bigger than you can expect, I guess. So it's only that we need to reach out, and we need to find the new members, and we need to do the work. It is maybe a little bit too optimistic to think that people will come to us and ask whether they can form the clubs just like that. It is more likely that we have to do hands-on work ourselves and help them to get started to form the new clubs. And I've been talking a lot with past district governor Alexei Kutsenok, who is the membership chair, about that, and I gave him one of the, I think this is S7 airline, something like that, network map, and I said to at least to all the places where we can fly, in all of those we can have a Rotary club, at least one Rotary club. And what we need to see soon developed in Russia is a strategy how we are going to reach out to cities where we are not yet established, and a way to sort of get it done. And well, also like in cities like St. Petersburg or in Moscow, we have a few clubs, but if I go to Stockholm, we have 50 clubs in Stockholm. And so the potential in Moscow, who has as many inhabitants as Sweden, where we have 20,000 Rotarians, well, you have in Russia big potential almost everywhere. So it's only that we need to activate it and get it growing on the membership side. The pilot, as I said, Russia is definitely in the forefront because it is the only pilot district in the world. And it has not been discussed to grant any other district the same status yet. So this is really unique. This is a gift that Russia has been receiving from the Rotary International Board of Directors. And now, of course, it's up to the Russian Rotarians and future Russian Rotarians to take care of that gift and develop it to something precious. This is from one of the first meetings we had in Moscow, when we were talking about how we should be able to build the district, and whether that building that we have accomplished would be sustainable is hard to see, but at least it has expectations that you can go high on membership in Russia. I spoke about the special organizational model that was chosen by Russians themselves for Russia. Of course, a big area, as you saw on the map, to be dealt with by only one governor, that would be a real challenge. So the suggestion was that we should divide it in 5 different regions, and it ended up that each of those regions should be led by a regional director. So it would be, in comparison to other districts in the world, a level in between the governor and the assistant governors, because the assistant governors will work for the regional directors. The regional directors will conduct all the club visits. They will do all the administrative things that the governor normally would do with the clubs. And the governor will be the chairman of the board of directors, and of course do all the ceremonial things. There might be jubilees, there might be fundraisers, there might be special events, and of course, not least, the different assemblies and meetings in the regions. So it is a different job to be a governor in Russia than it is to be in any other district in the world. And of course, we are still working on this model. This is what was chosen. Regional directors are now being re-elected, and some will be replaced. And I'm happy if we think this is a fun model, because then it might last for the future. But you have to understand that this is something that you will not find anywhere else in the Rotary world. And that is still something that we are working on to really implement. Of course, it takes time to implement something that is brand new. It is a lot about getting the traditional ways to work together with new ways. And the pandemic has maybe helped us somewhat in that way, because the digital abilities in general has increased tremendously over the time. And in a country of Russia's size, of course, all the digital tools are very, very, very important and will be also in the future. But it's also that a pilot district has the possibility to come up with ideas that maybe other districts can't, as long as they are beneficial for the district and it will lead to membership growth. And that is, of course, things that can be discussed. Things can be dealt with slightly different in Russia than in other parts of the world, as long as it is, as I said, beneficial for the growth and the development of Rotary in Russia. Leadership is crucial for this. As I said earlier, leaders who work together, who work for sustainable development of Rotary in Russia, visionary leaders who can find the right paths for Rotary in Russia. And these leaders need to be Russians, because they need to understand the culture, they need to know how to move around, and they need how to do it. They need to know how to do it. We, as co-chairs, mentors, we can help them, we can guide them, but the Russian leadership needs to come out of Russia. And interestingly enough, sometimes we get the questions from Russian Rotarians why they should become leaders in Rotary. In many other parts of the world, people are fighting themselves for these appointments that sometimes in Russia are harder to sell. And this is, of course, one chart of arguments why you should engage in leadership in Russia. And we just hope that it will work in Russia as well, because we need the Russian leadership to build a strong Russia, and that needs that people need to volunteer. We are not interested in hiring somebody to be the leader in Russia. It's not a paid position. It's not a paid position in any district in the world. It is volunteers who are doing the work, and that is also why we are as strong as we are, I would say, in many places. So we are working on developing the leadership, and we hope that we will see an increase in possible future governors when we go to elections, and that the interest for becoming a Rotary leader in Russia will increase. Working together. As I said, governors working together, regional directors working together, whatever term you have, during that one, you will work with your predecessor and your successor, and you will make sure that what we have achieved will be sustainable. We will, we will have a lot of work to do to really get the levels up and to make them sustainable. And that is one of the priorities. But what we can be absolutely sure about is that no one can do that themselves. It is something that we need to do together, all of us together. And it will also take some hard work to achieve it. But I'm very, very sure that we will be successful at the end of this pilot. And that after the pilot, the district will continue, maybe not as one district, maybe as more than one district, if we are as lucky as I hope that we can be. And Dean and I, we have done what we can. Dr. Manosh and I, we will continue to support as much as we can. But as I said many times, to be successful, Russians have to do what is best for Rotary in Russia. And we will be there to help, of course, but at the end of the day, I'm sure that we will be successful. So I will end my presentation here and go for questions if we have.
Let me open up the screen to my gallery view and see who we have who has a hand up, who wants to ask a question. And Robert, I see your hand first. I'm sorry, Randall, Robert beat you with a hand up. So Robert first.
Well, I would defer to Randall if he wants to ask the first question.
Go ahead, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Michael, I was just wondering, what are the kind of unique issues that district governor faces changing year from year over a 6-year period here? What kind of issues are they facing, and how do you keep the continuity?
Yeah, that is maybe a question for Governor Ildos. But what we would recommend from Rotary International is that you try to agree together with your successors and maybe also with your predecessor on what projects, on what areas you are going to focus, so that we don't see different initiatives every year, like Michael's initiative or Robert's initiative or whoever's initiative, because then we will have a lot of fireworks going on that year, but after that year, nothing will really be there. And we're talking about sustainability. So getting people to buy in, to go in the same direction, and to continue to go in that direction, that is what we would like to see.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Randall, you were next. Jump right in there.
Thank you very much, Michael. And Mikael, I have a quick question. Something that seems to be different in our pilot district from another district is that we have regional directors, and the regional directors don't change every year. So I think our regional director will have served for 3 years until the end of this year. And
yes,
I just wonder if you could explain the logic. Is it because of continuity that's?
Yes, well, absolutely. If we would change the regional directors yearly as well, that would be maybe a little bit too much of a change. So the idea was to have a 3-year mandate, a 3-year term like the assistant governors, in order to have continuity and not to change all the regional directors at the same time. Unfortunately, there have been some changes anyhow on different regional directors' positions because things has happened. But once we have installed this process, there will be staggered terms, and meaning that we will not change the whole board of directors at the same time.
Okay. Is that all right, Randall? You got your answer?
Thank you. No, thank you.
Okay. Natalia, you're next, please. Unmute yourself, Natalia.
Thank you, Michael. Mikael, at the beginning of your presentation, we have seen how many years and efforts of senior Rotary leaders were needed in order to establish first Rotary club or first 2 Rotary clubs in Soviet Union. It was intensive contacts with Soviet government, but Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore. And as far as I know, there were no efforts and no contacts of senior Rotary leaders with government of Russian Federation. Do you have a strategy in this direction? Because I have heard many times from Russian Rotarians, as soon as Russian TV will broadcast the meeting between, let's say, President Putin or Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sergei Lavrov, with RI President, the next day you will have thousands of new members. And I don't know, Randall may share my screen, or do I need to be, okay.
Yes,
I would like because I would like to translate myself to our Russian speaking guests, but I would like as well to show you a picture. It's a quiz. What do you think? Who are these two gentlemen? And now for и теперь для русскоговорящих ротарианцев. Я спросила у Микаэля, потому что в начале своей презентации он показал, как много усилий, как много встреч потребовалось между президентом Rotary International и руководством Советского Союза, чтобы открыть Советский Союз для Rotary. И насколько я знаю, не было никаких контактов между руководством Rotary International и руководством Российской Федерации. И я много раз слышала от российских ротарианцев, что если такая бы встреча состоялась, то сразу же на следующий день у нас было бы очень много членов. А теперь я прошу вас сделать ставки. What do you think? Who are these two gentlemen?
So that's Vladimir Vladimirovich on the left.
Yes, and on the right?
I don't know. Looks like a television news announcer.
No.
Must be a Rotarian.
No, okay. If no other guests are here, it's John Brown, RI president. This meeting took place in 1996 in St. Petersburg. So,
good.
Okay. But if such meetings could be organized, many years ago, there was almost ready that General Secretary at FUTA was preparing his visit to the UN in New York to meet a representative of Russian Federation, Turkey. But then it didn't happen. And currently we have as co-chair Manoj Desai. He probably could organize a meeting of our Indian RI President Shekhar with representative from Russian Federation Nebenza in New York. We have a Rotary representative to UN in Geneva. It's former Swiss ambassador to Russia, Walter Giger, who would be very pleased and who can organize such a meeting. It's just my idea, Mikael. It's my gift for the co-chairs.
Yeah, thank you, Natalia. It was a lot of information, a lot of suggestions, and maybe a question. And well, we will see when it happens that an international president comes to Russia. But what we are sure about, it has to be the right. And we have been under the impression that bringing an American president has maybe not been the timing to do. And then the pandemic came, and now we are going to have an Indian, and that might be timing, because India-Russia relations are, well, at least better than US or maybe Russian relations. So we'll see. But the normal case isn't that the Rotary International president invites himself.
Okay, we need to move on to the next question. But Natalia, this group of people you have here on the screen could make that happen, because you have people here who have a lot of influences in a lot of different places. So it's a great idea, and it's one that many people were taking notes on. So we'll see what happens with it. Thank you very much for the idea, Natalia. Sam, I know you got a meeting to go to next. You're got the next question. So go ahead, Sam.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad I stayed for this, Natalia. That's an excellent idea. And having been in and out of Russia many times myself, in Voronezh, in the Black Earth region of Russia, I know that it's very important that the RI president actually have a meeting with the president of Russia. I think that is really key. Also, we've been approached by a number of districts in India to make sure that we reactivate or expand the India-USA ICC. One of those is because of having better relationships with Russia, because India does have those relationships. But my question, Michael, and thank you for being here and your a good overview. what can we do as the United States Rotarians and all the various countries represented here to help you in your daunting task? Russia is a huge place. I've traveled probably 2/3 of it myself. And Russian was the first language in my home for my first 3 years of life. So I kind of grew up with it. But what can we do to help? And what 2 or 3 things would you suggest that would be the best practices, I guess we can say, that will move this along? Because like back to Natalia, if we can get this kind of visibility, and also my colleague here on the peace polls, we want to have the first set of peace polls in Moscow and Washington, D.C. We're actively working on that. So that's another initiative, and it follows on to the Russian president and our president from the United States. So there's a lot of activity going on, Michael. How can we help?
Well, to spread the word when you go out in different parts of Russia, of course, and also to help people who would like maybe to start up a club or whatever. Maybe you need to put in some hands-on work yourself, and that would be very much appreciated, of course, to get things up and running. Also to be the ear to the ground, to listen to what is happening in Russia, how things are moving. And when you find something that you think should be interesting, please send it to me or Dr. Manoj. We get from a few of you, well, maybe not exactly you who are in the call today, but a few of you, their opinions quite frequently, and we appreciate it very much, because it's impossible for us to be all over Russia at the same time. And well, different things are happening. And also, of course, if you have connections that could be valuable in companies, in different local government, whatever that we can benefit from, and maybe that where we can make some kind of approach that would be beneficial for that region. Maybe we don't know it before you say that we have these contacts, and then we can see how suddenly we can put things together. So all these different threads that we can get from all of you, they are very, very good. And of course, you can also send these, you can send them to us, but you can also send them to the Russian leadership, the governor or the regional directors. But we are happy to get all the tips, all the information that we can receive.
Okay, thank you very much. And we can, I assume we can get your particulars through Michael and the St. Petersburg Club, how to make contact with you. Okay, good.
Yes, we're direct connected. Everybody on the screen is directly connected to us. So if you have something you want to pass to somebody else on the screen, let us know and we'll pass that on.
Okay, thank you very much.
Rendell, may I say a couple words?
No, Natalia.
Yeah, I'm going to stay right with you so she can have her say. Go ahead.
Natalia, we got 3 more people waiting in line ahead of you, dear. Make it very, very short. No, sure, very short.
My turn?
Yeah, quick.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Very quick.
Okay. I'm continuing because I'm primary co-organizer of that project, Moscow and Washington. Dr. Sam told about that, and it is very interesting project right after meeting of our 2 presidents, Vladimir Putin and our president, Mr. Biden. And I try make connection with Park Sokolniki in Moscow, and sent just yesterday letter to director of Park Moscow with our proposal project, peace polls in Moscow and Washington, D.C. Also, I sent them photos chosen by Dr. Sam, that photos, places in Washington, D.C., and now asking director for permission. Just this morning, I got letter from administration of Park Sokolniki, and I think we will be very successful because
Right.
our partners in Moscow were pleasantly surprised by our proposal. Thank you, Mr. President Wader. I think we will continue our project and be successful. After this meeting, I'm going to answer our people to Moscow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Natalia. And we appreciate you coming each week and participating. And your project is supported by almost everybody on the screen. So we will help where we can. Thank you. Next in line, we have Aldous. Aldous, you had a question? Sir?
Yes, Mikael. Unfortunately, Natalia already asked my question about the importance of government relations, and I confirm that it's very important to organize the meeting with President Rotary International, with our president or our special representative of President Anatoly Chubais. You know, he's the special representative of President Putin in international organizations. And other things which can develop the Rotary, I think this is one big, huge, attractive project who can show to the Russian society what Rotary do in real. You know, our project, it names the Бессмертный полк. Somebody can help me with translation.
Yeah, Antonina can help you.
Immortal Regiment. Immortal Regiment.
Мы знаем, как одна из общественных инициатив вдруг стала общероссийской и привлекла миллионы людей под знамена общественной организации. И вот я думаю, что нам, России, нужно найти такой проект, который бы привлек в наши ряды много новых сторонников, даже без наличия вот такого, ну, как бы сигнала между политиками. Наталья, переведите, пожалуйста.
Okay. Michael?
Ильдус, я не готова была переводить, ты меня предупреждай заранее.
Да.
Скажи, что ты хотел сказать?
Окей, да. Я говорю, что в условиях, когда у нас государственная поддержка.
I will only have to point out that I have another commitment that started
Yes,
1 minute ago, but I will try.
That's right.
Ildus and I we speak frequently, so maybe we can.
Okay. Anyway, I'd like to confirm how very important that we have free Rotary International representative in our district, and you really help us to inspire the club, to give out the new skills for management in our clubs, in our district.
Okay, I'm sorry, but Michael has to leave. He's been very kind to come by and speak to us.
If we can have those with the hands up, freeze, brief and quick questions, I will do my best to answer them before I leave. But with Ildus, I speak every week, so I can take it.
Michael, you have been more than generous with your time. We have 4 or 5 people with their hands up who want to speak. I'm going to defer so that we can speak among ourselves. You do have another appointment. You were nice enough to come by and give us your time. You gave us a lot of information, and we're looking to you for your leadership. We're looking to you to give us ideas as to what we can do, and then we will work to make it happen. So thank you very much. On behalf of everybody, let's give Michael a round of applause for his presentation today. Thank you very, very much, Michael.
Thank you, Mikael.
Well, thank you for the
Thank you much,
invitation.
Mikael.
It has been
we
a privilege
appreciate
to visit you, and I hope soon that we could meet in St. Petersburg together. That would be really, really nice.
Well, we're going to be here again next week. Come back and visit us the same time, same place next week. We'll be right here having our meeting. So hope to see you again, Michael. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. After all this, we had Dennis, who was next in line, and we don't have Michael here to answer the question, but we do have other people who may know the answers to the questions. Dennis, you had a question for us.
Yes, I was interested in, as far as membership, what have we learned about the members and prospects in regards to age, gender, profession, areas of interest or areas of focus? Because I think that's one way of, by understanding who the members are, we in America and other places are able to maybe have more empathy and connecting with these people. So be interested in, again, about young, old, women, men, et cetera, et cetera.
Would someone like to take on that question? Do you have anybody on board like to take on that question? Natalia or Stan or someone? Anybody? Because what we have found is that because, and our, just Dennis, feedback from our club is that because of the current pandemic and situation, we feel that it's very difficult to get new members because we cannot have FaceTime with them. I don't mean FaceTime on Zoom. I mean hand-to-hand FaceTime where we can sit down and chat with them and tell them the benefits of Rotary and how they can help the world and how they can help themselves by becoming a leader within Rotary. That's our opinion from our club, is that here in St. Petersburg, it's very, very difficult to gain people who you cannot sit down and have a discussion with. Over the internet, it's all right, but it's just difficult. Yes, Stan, go ahead and chime in. Stan.
Well, Michael, I can't see the whole gallery, but if Ildus is still with us, he could help answer the question of Dennis, and certainly Nadia, my friend Nadia Pop, I'm so pleased to see she's on with us. I didn't know she was. That either of them could answer that question. And, you know, Antonina or Natalia or I could, you know, translate if Ildus wants to speak in Russian, but in any event, just as Russians have to lead the way forward with Rotary in Russia, they're the ones who can answer those questions, really.
Right. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Nadezhda or Ildus, either one of you want to make a comment?
Hello, unfortunately, I don't understand what Stan asked me. Stan?
Dennis was
Stan,
asking when we're looking. Go ahead.
Can anybody help me translate the Stan?
Ildus,
Yes.
it was Dennis Wong.
You
was
can speak
asking.
Russian, this.
Окей, хорошо, хорошо. Вот Денис Вонг, он спрашивал, ну, то есть какие поколения самые активные, участвующиеся, скажем, вот в России, в Ротари. Это потому что, ну, больше женщин, больше мужчин. Какие профессии у этих людей, скорее всего, которые становятся членами Rotary в России?
Okay, I can speak in English. This one. Thank you, Dennis, for your questions about our membership. 67% of our members are businessmen, entrepreneurs. About 40% are women. And we are the most younger district in our zone as a membership. Our average ages is about 45 years. So we one of the youngest district in the world, I think. Is it enough for you?
To start. To start.
To start.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
it's main structure. Maybe you have the other questions about our membership and can describe it.
I think
thank you very much.
I think you answered Dennis's question.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
all right.
But what is most important, the government don't allow it to be a Rotary members for their staff, for the people who work for the government. So we can, in this field, we can increase our membership.
Yeah, and Ildus, tell me if you agree. It would seem to me that Natalia's suggestion and idea is very important from this perspective.
Yes.
If you had the blessing of local government officials, regional government officials, especially national government officials, then you'd see lots of people who are working in the government would be interested in joining Rotary.
Please tell me in Russian. I don't understand the details of your question.
Мгм.
Я просто говорю, что если вот были такие встречи, о которых говорила Наталья, ну, между президентами, тогда очень легко и быстро вы бы нашли, чтобы стали членами Rotary вот разные государственные, ну, скажем, чиновники.
I understand you. Natalia shows a picture where President Putin wasn't present in that time. He was just
Он был
assistant
вице-мэром.
of the regional
Yes, he was
governor.
vice mayor of
He's vice mayor of
Petersburg.
St. Petersburg only.
Yes, but
And Natalia really asked about the possibilities to organize a meeting with the President Rotary International with our president or with special representative Anatoly Chubais. Now we have in our government the special representative of President Putin for the international organizations. So and what the next point which I ask and propose, we can have our big interesting project for the whole society and for the government especially. The government will be interested in this project, and if we will develop this project, we really can increase our membership. In recent time, all clubs provide each own projects, small projects. Mostly it's not project, it's only actions, short action for the short distance, for the short time. But the huge sustainability project, which is connecting with the global goals, we haven't, unfortunately, we haven't this project. Now we try to develop the project clean Russian rivers, healthy planet. But we made only the first steps in this direction in this year.
Ильдус, ну вот сейчас мы все на русском говорим, по-моему, да, на уровне клуба, вот и сегодняшний вывод главный в том, чтобы клуб понял, что такое пилотный округ, и если клуб часть ответственности за это не готов брать на себя и не поймет, что от него зависит, мы не сдвинемся ни на каком Чубайсе, ни на каком Путине, ни на каком президенте Rotary International. И у нас останутся клубы в 6 человек, не растущие, и стратегический план, который будет один Штефанштайн и губернатор делать, и все останется на своем месте. Надо, чтобы каждый клуб понял, что надо расти, что есть у каждого клуба необходимость вот этого роста, иначе мы через 5 лет останемся без Rotary округа, и все останется на своем месте. Вот мне кажется, вот этого они никак не могут понять.
Я согласен. А как это сделать? Как донести до каждого клуба?
Допустим, провели заседание клуба, хорошо, послушали Микаэля, но после этой милой встречи, после этого понятия, каждый должен понять, вот что такое. Вот послушали, сделали выводы, что такое пилотный округ. А наш клуб что? Вот сколько у нас человек, как мы в перспективе. Ну, я просто пример говорю, я не к тому, что критика данного клуба, а вот, наверное, пока каждый клуб вот эту вот персональную ответственность за это не возьмет, мы не сдвинемся.
Nadezhda, thank you very much for your comments, but unfortunately, there are several of us on the screen who did not understand one word of what you said. So I'm sorry, but I have to apologize, but some of us do not speak Russian. So therefore, it's very difficult for us to know what you said. But we appreciate your comment because I'm sure there are many people on the screen who do understand, who did see your point and so forth. So I just want to let you know that your audience is listening, but not all of us are hearing. So, but thank you very much for the comments because I'm sure they were critical and I'm sure they're important to the people. So we'll have to go forward.
I'm sorry. It's very, very nice make this meeting like now because it's very interesting, but it's a very important next step. next step. It's information and next step, because St. Petersburg International was a very interesting and very strong club. And I hope you will be good future. You have chance make good future, and it will be.
We will work toward, thank you very much for the compliment for our club, but we will work for it. That's our future.
Okay.
That's what we're headed.
Okay, my dear. Okay,
But
my
we
friend.
need, but we do need your support, just like the other people on the screen. We need everybody's support. We're a
Michael,
small club, but we can make it happen. Yes, sir.
Michael, yeah, the key point that Desda was saying very passionately is that we can't exist with small clubs and not grow. And
Right.
so it was nice that Mikael gave us some perspective, but we need to grow our clubs dramatically. And we know we have 7 active members. We need to triple the size of our club. But this is not just us, it's the whole district has the same problem.
Right, and that's our main goal for next year. Our club has 2 goals. One is membership, and the other one is growing our project at the CRCs, which most of you already know about. But those are our 2 main goals, and we will work on membership. It's just that it is very difficult when we cannot get people to meet face to face and shake their hand and talk to them. That makes it.
And Michael, I hope we have 51% ladies.
I don't know if we will not.
Okay.
Okay.
Sasha Polishuk, my best friend, and I hope my next visit in St. Petersburg I will be in your offline meeting. Okay.
We will in less than a year. We will be in offline meetings in less than a year.
Okay, my dear.
I'm relatively sure of that. So we'll make that happen.
Okay.
We have other people with their hands up, but I'm going to have to ask both Antonina and Gabriella, if you're going to make a comment, it's got to be short because we're running out of time and we still got a few more things we have to discuss before we finish the meeting. So Antonina, you had your hand up first. Please make it short. Antonina.
The big difference between Rotary clubs in West or Western world and Russia is that currently Russian government is not supporting Rotary idea, Rotary clubs in Russia. So I agree with Natalia Anisimov that this dialogue on a higher level is necessary. Because when I started Rotary Club in Tomsk, it was time when relationships between Rotary International and influenced by USA and Russia was on a positive mode. So our Rotary Club was supported by Tomsk governor and region. So this is first. And second, I really puzzled with the word sustainability. What is criteria of sustainability in Rotary International point of view? Okay, that's it.
And sustainability would be a very good topic if we can find somebody to come speak to us internationally about sustainability outside of the United States and other countries. It would be a good subject, so we can look into that. Thank you very much, Antonina. I think it's absolutely needed. Gabriella, you were next, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. Natalia, it's very good that you emphasize putting with someone from Rotary high level. It's very encouraging for other people, showing that Rotary is not an enemy. Point 2, what about the city? What can you do in your own city or region? Cooperation with administration. We started in 2015 establishing benches, but we did it in close cooperation with the administration politics in Petersburg. And they really got to know that Rotary is an organization that is doing something for your city. And so you have friends at your side. And I think this is helping very much. I think actually we have 30 benches and they got to know that the Rotary is really helping and supporting. So regarding other countries and Rotary from other countries, what are they doing? They are, for example, sponsoring benches, and you all over, you see Rotary International, and then you see where the sponsors come from. And this also shows that all the other countries, all the other clubs are also supporting St. Petersburg. And at least I want to say, я очень рада тебя видеть, Надежда, очень приятно. Всего доброго от тебя.
Рада
Thank you so much.
видеть тебя тоже. Рада очень видеть.
Thank you, Gabriella. We appreciate that very much. And our club is just trying to provide the platform for these 30 or 40 people we have every week to share ideas. But what we need is for each of you 30 or 40 people to take an action, to do something. And I know you're already started. I know you're already doing things. The ICCs that have been coming to speak to us, the different level directors have been coming in to speak to us. We know you're all very, very busy, but as a group, this group of people who attend these meetings have a tremendous amount of power if we put it together. And we just need to figure out how to do that in the future. It's a difficult job. Myself and the other members from this club, all of our members are working towards the fact of providing a platform where we can share these ideas. And this is what we need to do. We just need to take it to another level and get a bigger group. And as you said, if we could possibly bring in government officials to even just listen to our meeting and hear what the people have to say, that may be beneficial, to plant that seed in their head that there is a possibility of growing Rotary bigger in Russia and getting those people to participate. Those are very important things that we need to think about in the future, which we can do as a small club, but we got to grow our club, and we need your help from everybody on the screen. That's why myself and our other members from our club, all of our members, talk about the fact that we are so lucky to have all you people attend our meetings and participate and speak and ask questions. So we will keep doing what we're doing, and we're going to ask for your continued support as we go forward. I need to move on to the next subject right now. Stan, go ahead and make it quick, Stan.
Yes, Michael, I just wanted to suggest that there are regions, cities within Russia where the particular club or clubs have good relations with maybe local authorities, maybe regional authorities, such as governors or the governor's administration. And I think, I mean, the Russians obviously can comment on this much more intelligently and profoundly than I can. However, I think that we need to look, and the Russian Rotarians need to look at those areas, regions, and cities where the Rotary clubs have been able to forge successful relationships with local authorities and try and replicate that in other places. I realize sometimes it's very difficult, if not impossible, with certain governors, mayors, etc. But nonetheless, that's just a thought. But the Russians could really answer that. You know, say whether that makes sense or not.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Stan. And I think it would be easier in Irkutsk or Tomsk than it would be in Moscow to get a government official to participate or whatever. I don't know, but that's something that certainly we can look at as we go forward. There are so many things we have looking forward. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand 2021, 2022 is almost here. It's very close. And as we get closer, we're going to figure out what we're going to be doing in this next year. So for all the clubs, all the districts, all the regions, for making their plans for the next year, they need to identify those 2 or 3 key things that are imperative for us to accomplish in the next year. If you make those known to all of your members who are in your region, district, or club, that these are the objectives that we want to accomplish and put them at the top of the priority list. As I said, for our club, it is membership and our CRC project, but we will continue to also help all of you with what you're doing. But every club, every district, and every region needs to have a top 2 or 3, not 27 goals, not 27 things they want to accomplish next year, but those 2 or 3 that are absolutely critical, and make them happen in the next year. this is so, so important for being a good leader to know what are the critical 2 or 3 things in your company or your organization. We want to do a lot, but a couple have to be very critical and have to be put at the forefront whenever we're making decisions. You're making a decision what to do next. Think about, is it going to help you reach those 2 or 3 critical items? If you do that, it's going to make it much better for you. Now, I'm going to, because it's our meeting, we need to finish up what we were on in our meeting. I'm going to move forward. You all know, or most of you already know, about our #1 project for our club. That is the CRC, the Children's Rehabilitation Center. We have 4 children now. We have partial money for a 5th. We're not going to put it out there yet for another 5th child until we complete it. We're still looking for donations. Our goal is 10 children this year. And we believe that in the first 6 months, by the end of June, we will have accomplished 5 of those 10. We still need a lot of help to get 5 more children. It costs us about 2,500 euros for each child to get their rehabilitation. If your club, your organization, region, district, ICC, any of those want a presentation, I am available to give a presentation to that club, region, or district about our project. And this is helping Russian children. So if you wanted to get Rotary to have a project that is actually having an impact on Russians, this is a project that does have impact on Russians. And we can show our generosity as Rotarians and how we want to help the world and how we want to help these children. So these children are there and they are available. We need you to donate to help us. We also need to make sure that you understand and spread the word. Every child deserves to walk, run, and play like other children. Think about yourself when you were small. If you couldn't walk or run or play with those other kids, how hard would it have been on you emotionally? We can help children to walk, run, and play like other children. And the children that we have helped, they're very, very responsive. They're very appreciative, and their parents are involved for the long-term sustainability of the growth. These things are necessary, and they are working. So we appreciate any help that anybody can possibly give us in the organization. Now, next step for our club meeting today. On the 23rd, we know we had Mikael here. On the 30th, we've got Peter Hunter coming in. He's going to talk about the St. Petersburg flood protection barrier. He will be here as our guest speaker. We will also have the floor open for other ideas and other comments, just as we did today. Besides our speaker, we will certainly open it up to other people, because this group of people have dynamic ideas. You are the future of Rotary in Russia. With your help, we can make it happen. Without your help, we cannot. That's why we need you to come each week and make your comments and say the things that you need to say. Our club traditionally has taken some time off in July and August because many of our members want to go on vacation and it's hard to get people together during the time. So on July 7th and July 14th, we will not be meeting. If you have comments or questions, certainly reach out to us. We will put out a short newsletter on both the 7th and the 14th. We'll put out a short newsletter to everybody. You can read through that. If you have comments or something you want to include in our newsletter, send it to myself or send it to Randall, either one of us two, and we will get your comments into the newsletter. But we're not going to be meeting for 2 weeks. On the 21st of July, Robert Morrow, who is with us today, is going to be back, and he will be speaking about the commonality in diversity. And he'll be speaking on the 21 July. Then we will take 2 more weeks off, and then starting the week after the 4th, we will start rolling into regular meetings again each week, and we'll be meeting either online as we are now or having hybrid meetings. But we will be available for you to join us online around the world for the rest of this year, because we'll have hybrid meetings. So those things are all scheduled right now. I'm sorry that we're taking a few weeks off during the summer, but that's our club's tradition, and that's what we've been doing because the people attendance was so very, very low. So that's our schedule. I want to make sure everybody was aware of that. We still got another week to hear more about the flood prevention here in St. Petersburg, and we're certainly open to comments and people coming to visit us and tell us what they think we need to do to grow Rotary in Russia. That's our goals, and that's what we want to make happen. But I can tell you, if your club, region, or district is making minimum 2 or 3 key goals, go out and do it in the next year. The next year is just around the corner. Matter of fact, for most of you, I suggest that you take a breath, take a step back for a little while, maybe a week, take a breath, because you've been working very, very hard during this pandemic to hold everything together and to come up with ideas on how we're going to make things better. Sometimes when we take a step back, we reapproach with a new idea, new reflection as to what we can do, and then we can go forward in the new year. We will be here next year, and we hope you're going to be here next year because we want to make this a success. We can do this. We can make Rotary grow in Russia. It's just a matter of the people like us getting out there and doing what's necessary. If we do that, we can pull in people. If a little group like us, 7 people, can pull in 30 or 40 people every week, you can do the same thing and you can make an impact. So, Randall, go ahead.
I was just thinking we should make a regular appeal to the people who are visiting us in our meetings that if you have any friends that you think might be potential Rotarians in St. Petersburg physically here, we would love to know about that because we need to very much grow our own membership base.
Right, for sure. And those people who you might recommend to us, we will try to meet with them one-on-one because they're physically here. There are possibilities to have some of those meetings at this time. So
I'll meet the ladies, Michael. You'll meet them in.
Thank you. We got to make sure that people are met and supported and given the ideas. We also have Randall, correct me on her name, what Sharon's last name is in town now?
Tennyson.
Sharon Tennyson is now in town in St. Petersburg here. She's going to be going to our CRC Center, Children's Rehabilitation Center, next week. And she's also going to help us see if we cannot pull in some Rotarians to get them to start coming to our meetings and start being part of our people here. So she's very powerful. I know many of you know Sharon already. So she's going to be a force to help us here in St. Petersburg. So, okay, we have met our 1 hour and a half meeting requirements. That's what we have. On closing comments, I always do this each week. I ask our members. We have Rami from Moscow. Rami, do you have any comments? Has he signed out already? Maybe. He's been with us the whole meeting, so maybe he is away from. Okay, Randall, any closing comments?
I wanted ice cream, Michael.
Okay, you get ice cream. That's what I got when I was flying, and it was very delicious when I was flying. It gave me ice cream instead of coffee, and it was very nice. Gabriella, you're one of our honorary members. Gabriella, any closing comments?
I will join Randall with an ice cream.
that makes three of us. Antonina?
Okay, Russians have no sense of humor, so I'm serious. Next meeting, it will be a topic on issue very close to heart of all people in St. Petersburg, right. Which is, okay. So I suggest to use suggestions of Gabriel to invite some official people, directly from top of St. Petersburg government, to this meeting. But there is also an issue in translation, as you can see, okay, every time. So have to be some thoughts, on this subject done as well. So anyways, and thank you all for being today in the meeting.
Okay, thank you, Gabriella. And also for those of you who don't know, I'm sorry, Antonina. Antonina is one of our honorary members also. We have 2 honorary members who are with us tonight and at most of our meetings. All right. On behalf of our club, I'll make closing comments. If you hear my words and you feel
Michael, Michael, I think DG Ildis wanted to say something before you
Michael,
finish.
Go ahead.
Michael, Randall, thank you very much. I'd just like to express my great appreciation for your topics of these meetings. And I'd like to invite all of you to support our district team to work in some of committees, maybe membership committees, PR committees, government relations committees. All our doors open for you impact, for your job, for your service in our district team. Please welcome, and we are waiting here.
Thank you, Ildis. Appreciate that. As I was beginning to say, my words of encouragement are words that I know you can do. I know you can do it. I know you can make this work. You can make Rotary work in Russia, but it's going to take the effort of not just 1, 2, or 3 people. It's going to take the effort of all of the people we have on the screen and people who are not on the screen now, but have been visiting us for the last 6 months. If we work together as a team, it is dynamic and you can make it happen. Our club will continue to offer this platform that we've been offering for the last almost year now, and we will continue that either live or on hybrid. We will be available to you join our meetings on Zoom and online so that we can share those comments. You folks are the lifeblood of our small club because we see you week after week. I almost feel like many of you are our members now. Many of you, Gail and Ann and David, and so many of you come week after week after week, almost like a regular member of our club, and we appreciate that. We feel that friendship, that camaraderie, that Rotary-ship, if you will, joining together. We feel that from you, and thank you very, very much for coming. We appreciate that, and we will continue to work together. Together, we can do this. So that wraps up our meeting. We're going to stay on. I'm going to close the meeting in just a moment. I don't have a bell today. I will next week. We're going to close the meeting, and we'll be online for about 5 more minutes before we shut down. So officially, I don't have a bell, but I have a cup. If you have a cup, if you have a glass, if you have anything you're drinking from, please pick it up. I'm going to make a short toast, Randall. I'm going to make a short toast.
Oh, you're having a toast.
This toast is to the word persistence. If we want to succeed in Russia, if we want Rotary to grow in Russia, we're all going to have persistence to stick with the project, stick with the effort. If you stick with it, you're going to be able to make it happen. And I'll give you a simple example. There are many mountains in the United States that have been ground down by rivers. And the river doesn't do it by rushing past that mountain suddenly. It does it by persistence, hour after hour, minute after minute working. So if we have persistence, we can do it in Russia. Here's a toast towards persistence. Here, here.
Together we can.
Natalie's drinking her flowers. Those are magic flowers.
Okay. For St. Petersburg International.
Oh my God.
You're present in our home every time.
Красиво.
Very good. Thank you, Nines.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, our meeting is closed and we're open for just sociality for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to be shutting down. So any comments from anybody? Ann. Yes, Ann.
Ann has something to say.
Ann.
Ann, you're mute. Unmute. Ann.
You're muted, Ann.
Good luck.
Quick announcement. I got an invitation to a meeting of the European Alliance of Rotary Clubs on the road to peace. There was nobody from Russia on the meeting, so I thought it would all be very good if some Russians would show up and listen in and contribute to the meeting and make some friends. And so I put the announcement in the chat, and I asked Randall if he would send it out, as it's on the 26th at 11 o'clock Swiss time. Some of us will be up at 4 in the morning, but that's okay. We do what it takes.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ann. I appreciate that. Thank you. And again, I did not make comment, but for Nadezhda and Aldis, thank you very much for chiming in tonight and participating. We appreciate your support, your help. We're all going in the same direction. We just need to apply different levels or different things to the process, but we need your help as well.
And I am very happy see my best friend United States, and include my past district governor from District 5010, include 10 and my best friend from District 5010. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadezhda. Thank you, Nadezhda. We have, I don't think Randall and I and the other members, the other 5 members besides us in our club, I don't think any of us had any expectation a year ago or 14 months ago as to what was going to come out of these online small club meetings. We didn't know, but we have now made friends around the world, and we're helping other people continue that friendship.
All vote. Thank you.
Well, we're just going to keep on going. We didn't know what it was going to be at the beginning. One of the things we have found is that many of you are friends of other people on the screen, but you haven't seen them in 6 months or a year or longer. And now you have a chance to see them again where you haven't seen them in a long time. So certainly we will continue to be here to be that vehicle to make this grow and make this happen. So it's our pleasure to be doing this. Any other comments? We'll be closing here in a minute.
Okay, may
Yeah,
I
go ahead,
mention
Antonina.
something? I love
Antonina, go.
history. I love history. In 1996, we were District 5010, and the main project in Russia, it was from our district was Children of Russia. And I can tell you, it brought all clubs together under leadership of Carolyn Jones in this time.
I remember.
So yes, Nadezhda, yes, I'm her trainee. And I also know that from some opinions, future new idea of Russian Federation and concerns our children as well. But this is opinion from Russian side. So I'm happy that St. Petersburg International Club's main project is related to children's well-being, and maybe this may be a Rotary like orientation or not goals, not target, but anyways, most consideration, children of Russia.
Right.
Who knows, maybe an old good idea will come back, okay?
Right. We feel, Antonina, we've, as a club, everybody in our club, we feel that our project has draw to everybody in the world, especially to people in Russia, but to people all over the world, because most people are very receptive to helping children. And when they can see that children are walking and running and playing where they have never been able to do before, it is emotional and it does draw attention. That's why we have been able to already this year raise for 5 children. That's 12,500 euro. That's not just a couple kopecks. That's a good amount already. And we did that with almost no advertising, very, very little. But we got some good feedback and we want to grow that. There's a lot of children at that center that could handle. We just heard about that 2 weeks ago when Maria was speaking to us. They have a lot more capability and we can grow that. But it's just one of many projects that we need to be working on. But certainly it's our club's project. So.
Michael?
Yes, sir.
On a different topic connected to Antonina. Antonina, maybe you could make a presentation to Nadezhda's club or to Ildus's club about the Pushkins in Quinty. I think they would find that very interesting. But you have to reach out to them.
Yeah. Also, I also think that if maybe Gabriella and yourself, Antonina, the two of you got together, you could make a presentation in Russian to a Russian club about our CRC project, that they may be interested and want to know more about it and so forth. That's certainly a possibility. Or maybe you can chime in with Natalia and Natalie in Oregon, in the United States, get her to chime in on the project for the CRC to get the recognition about the children. If this is a way, if this is a way we can get more Russians interested in Rotary, then maybe this is a key element that we can use to grow their membership in our clubs. So I don't know. It's a very emotional project once you see it. Once you go there, once you go to the center, see what's going on, it's very, very emotional. So I'll work with anybody to give a presentation. I can do it in English, but I would need somebody to work with me in Russian because my Russian is not fluent, not enough to give this type of presentation. But certainly I have the information. We can do something. So, okay, folks, I apologize for having to close our meeting, but we have run over our time and we will be back here next week, same time, same place. Hope to see all of your smiling faces. especially to Nadezhda and Aldous. Thank you for coming this week. And if you can make it next week, please come back. And to all of our regular members who, Ann and Howard and Natalia, all of the folks that normally show up for our meetings, thank you very, very much. You are our lifeline and you are our unofficial members of our club because you participate all the time. Thank you all very, very much.
Спасибо. Спасибо.
Thank you, Mikael.
Good morning,
Thank
good
you, Mike.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? That's a Rotary four-way test.
Now many years ago, in 1932, his company was headed down, he knew not what to do. Then Herbert Taylor started on a quest to keep his team from certain doom. He wrote the four-way test.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? That's the Rotary four-way test. Adopted some years later by Rotarians worldwide, some simple rules for dealing with the people by your side. A guide for life's decisions, no doubt one of the best. Just 24 quite simple words. The four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? That's the Rotary four-way test. In the class or on the playground with your friends at school, you'll find that hurtful words and actions really aren't too cool. So as you make your choices of what to do or say, remember that old four-way test and you will be okay. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? That's the Rotary four-way test. And will it be beneficial to all concerned? That's the